both of which are true. King Solomon says, "He who works his land will be satisfied with bread." A person who is not lazy has land, and he knows that the nature of land is that if you leave it unattended, without effort and toil, it will grow thorns and weeds. And this person who is wise works his land, toils, makes an effort, invests, removes the stones, uproots the thorns, plows, sows, waters, and works hard in the summer. In the end, when he sees the result, he discovers that he is not just eating bread, but he has an abundance according to his effort, according to his toil. This is the result. In contrast, he who pursues emptiness is lacking in heart. A person who is lazy about what needs to be done, who doesn't work for a livelihood, for his job, has land but abandons it. Instead, he pursues emptiness, but he is someone who does not have the emotional capacity to anticipate the future, to think a step ahead, because right now he just feels like gossiping, traveling, hanging out with empty and reckless people, sitting and chatting, doing nothing, drinking with them, eating with them. He doesn't think about the future. What will happen in a year, in 20 years, at age 50, at age 70? Where will I be eventually? Therefore, King Solomon calls him lacking in heart, lacking in feeling, because a person with sensitivity thinks a step ahead. King Solomon also teaches us here with these words, lacking in heart. How can we activate the system of wanting to do good things? A person who intellectually understands knows that now he must toil, he must work, he must organize, arrange things, but has no desire, no motivation. How will he make himself want to do it? King Solomon says, activate the heart. We have also seen in the past a great principle that King Solomon teaches about the soul of man, that when there is a struggle between the mind and the heart, the mind understands one thing, while the heart wants something else. According to human nature, who overcomes whom? The intellect over the heart, the mind over the heart, or the heart over the mind? The heart over the mind. This is what King Solomon teaches. The nature of a person is such that even if he understands intellectually, he can give a long speech on why cigarettes are harmful and show you a presentation on how the lungs are damaged, and at the end of the lecture, he goes out and smokes himself. You ask him, where is everything you said? He can explain it intellectually, but his heart wants to smoke. This means that when there is a struggle, a person can understand intellectually what is right, what is wrong, what is good for him, and what is not. But the heart wants something else. The heart takes control of the wheel of the bus and leads the body according to its desires. In several places in the verses of King Solomon, we see that he teaches how to make the intellect take control. He says, use the heart to act. This means that when there is a struggle between the intellect and the heart, it is true that the heart usually prevails, but the intellect can persuade the heart to stir emotions that will lead it to do what the intellect wants. In our example, the heart desires laziness and heaviness, and when there are empty and reckless people around, the heart enjoys sitting with them, relaxing and chatting. He knows that this is bad company and asks himself, what am I even doing here? But the heart wants it. The next day he may regret it and then return to make the same mistake again. King Solomon says, use the intellect to stir the heart. Meaning, when the intellect understands something, it can stir emotions in the heart. Why should the heart act like the intellect? If you tell the heart, listen, it's not cultured to be with such company. You gave a beautiful speech, a great lecture, but the heart wants something else. But if you activate the heart's emotions, you say to it, what do you want? Do you want a beautiful apartment? Do you want a good wife? Do you want to succeed in life? Do you want to live a long life? And you activate its desires for the things it truly wants. Then you will know that the way to reach that goal is by leaving this company, joining good company, waking up on time, going to work, earning a living, attending Torah classes, changing yourself, working on anger, and working on your character traits. If you're not acting right in guarding your eyes or physical contact, the intellect can say to him, listen, this isn't right what you're doing, and he will continue because the heart wants it. But if you say, do you want to enjoy a relationship? This path will destroy your relationship and you won't enjoy it. We use the pleasures of the future to persuade the heart to follow the right path. Therefore, Solomon says, if you see a person who is still chasing after empty things, it means he is lacking heart. His emotions are off. There is something wrong with his emotional state. On the positive side, he who works his land will be satisfied with bread. Even here, when paying close attention to the words of King Solomon, he says, he who works his land. Works is from the word slave, meaning if you want to succeed, you must enslave yourself like a servant to the goal you want to achieve. Of course, within boundaries, there is family, a wife, children, a daily schedule with Torah study, prayers. But in relation to laziness, that is, things you don't want to do because of laziness, not because you need to sit with your wife, help her care for the children, but things that stem from laziness. Here you tell yourself, I enslave myself to the right thing. He who works his land, this person will be satisfied with bread. He does not say, will eat bread. He could have said that a person who strives to invest in the land will eat bread, but this is soft, not serious. He who works his land, like a servant, you toil, you exert effort, and in the end, you will find abundance of livelihood. Bread symbolizes all types of livelihood. You will achieve great abundance. In Hebrew, there is a difference between the words work and easy work. This is actually a great principle in the holy language which does not exist in other languages, that two words that appear identical have a significant difference in meaning. And if you want to break down the word and understand the difference between this word and that word, which seem identical, check the root letters. The word avodah, work, comes from the root eved, slave. The word melacha, craft, comes from the root melech, king. This seems strange. Two words that look similar. One from the root eved, the lowest of human beings, and the other from the root melech, which is at the top of the human pyramid. Avodah is associated with toil when you make an effort. Melacha can be without toil. You sit, give instructions, press buttons. You did melacha, but avodah is toil. Therefore, King Solomon uses the phrase, ose, be without toil. You sit, give instructions, press buttons. You did melacha, but avodah is toil. Therefore, King Solomon uses the phrase, ose admato, works his land. You make an effort, you toil without laziness. By the way, within this difference between the word melacha and the word avodah, there is an answer to a question I have heard many times, especially from young people who are strengthening their observance. But the most beautiful phrasing I have ever heard was from a student in Tel Aviv.